as of 6 days ago. We are closer to 2030 than we are 2020. Does that make you sick?
Fuck up. I didn't need to hear that. That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
On a deep level.
Fact of life. Sorry.
No, that's gonna be the opener.
Oh, no.
We're here at Supply in Jackson Ward with Ian C. Hess. And Ian, for the people who don't know who you are, who are you?
I'm an artist here in Richmond. Been here for over 14 years now. Graduated in late 2014 from VCU. Been a full-time artist since then. I ran Endeavor Studios for 5 years. Started Supply thereafter. Now going into our 3rd year and started Little Giant Society to make Richmond's first public art park.
Oh yeah, busy guy. Do you remember the moment or period when making art stopped feeling like just play and began to feel like your purpose?
It was probably the year following graduating. I never thought of becoming an artist, really. I was planning on being an electrical engineer, actually. Drawing is something I always did. I was very dejected from art school and like middle school. It seemed like there was a lot of nonsense or like in-group preference or politics at play. The arts was just, preference. It's like, oh, I like this person or I know this person.
Yeah.
Therefore they get this thing. And so I was like, learning art for its craft in school wasn't something that was going to be fruitful. It just ended up being something that I do all the time. I love to do, compulsively do it. It really came to a head at the end of high school. I had a brilliant teacher that it was like at a left field class, and he was one of the few that were like, dude, you're good at drawing. You should do something with this. And I was like, what can you do with it? And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she gave me an arts book by the artist Greg Crayola Simpkins. Amazing at graph, unbelievable illustrator, acrylic painter, and it was a whole tome. It was like this thick with just drawings and paintings. There was something in schooling that never demonstrated that artist is something that you could do. It's not a historical object. You know what I mean? It's like you look at Van Gogh, you look at all the big names, Picasso, whatever it is, and you're like, oh, that's something that happened. That was the time in the past, and they are now idols of the arts world, and it's not something you can be. You have to be like this legend. And seeing him, he had a family, got like multiple kids, he's got a wife, and he's got this career, and he's showing all around the world. And seeing that in that book, I was like, oh, you can like be an artist. Like you can work on this, support yourself. He does these immaculate drawings and paintings, very like whimsical, of like animals that are kind of fused into each other, and there's like a sense of like street art and graph that's like weaved into it, and it's just beautiful. He's still doing it, and he's just a killer. And it's like he made the connection happen of like, this is something you can be. And I always doodled little monsters and thingamabobs and weird guys and battles and demons and angels, all sorts of things, and he was very similar in what, granted a lot better, but he was very similar. Seeing that and a little bit of encouragement from a few teachers and a few friends, I was like, all right, so either I get into VCU and that's it, or I become an electrical engineer. It was like the two routes.
Two very different routes.
Different sides of the brain.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
probably be making more money if I was an electrical engineer.
Yeah. I don't know what an artist makes.
Depends on the day. I really think that without seeing him or that book, I would have been hard-pressed to be convinced that arts was even a way to go.
Yeah.
To do it realistically. And it sucks that it's like you go through that much schooling and there aren't more teachers who are like, hey, you could like support your life doing this. We live and we learn.
Opening an art store can't be easy, especially when Amazon and online retailers exist. What made you feel Richmond needed Supply?
It was coming out of the protests, the riots, everything that was happening. Broad Street took a knee to the head, a spinning kick to the kneecaps. I watched a lot, including neighbors on both sides here, a GRTC bus, the building across the street, and the flag shop that used to be back there all exploded. They blew up on fire.
Okay.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of restaurants down this way, down Broad. It was the same way as like there was a lot of good intentions behind what was going on at the time and like standing up for what's right and wanting to impact the world while simultaneously being locked in and told that like going outside is dangerous for your health. It's just like looking back at this time, it's like, oh my God, like this did happen. It's tough to even remember how much it's such a blur. It was really like, I'm here, got this property in the wake of Endeavor Studios closing. This was technically a studio, and I used to work exactly right here. I'd done a show. I made like 131 pieces, and it's at Black Iris, which is right there in the back of the frame. Back there, under new ownership, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. And so I did a show, 131 pieces. I called the show Little Giants. It was great, like, but it was still like COVID lockdown protocol times. I remember just like, hey, if you don't want to come, don't come. Take the precautions that you want. I believe in the arts district. We haven't done an art show. There's been no reason to go outside. Kind of here's one if you do want to come out. It's a lot of work, and I made a video that leads up to it. Really cool, like 3D animation, a really cool song that went with it, and promoted the hell out of it. And then like a lot of people showed up. It was like, whoa, this is great. And everybody was like coming up, and they're like, thank you for doing something to get us out. It's just one of those things, like, despite seemingly the world that's ending, when times get really bad, you realize that art isn't this luxury. It's really this sustenance for the soul, for existing, reasons for living and loving life and seeing beauty, and a chance for a community to come together, which is so much what Richmond, seemingly the fabric, is built out of. It's like, yeah, community one way or another, all these separate worlds and niches and you name it, coming back around to all the riots and all of the protests and everything that's happening, sitting back and asking the question of what does an arts district need? And it's like, we've got a few galleries, we've lost a bunch of galleries, but there's one art supply store. There's been one for, at the time, it was almost 10 years that there was only one. The arts district has never had an art store. And so I'm like, this is a small space, you know, it doesn't work as a gallery per se. Granted, we got some work up. It's a small slice, but it's not like a gallery. And so like, what could work here? And I was like, oh, an art supply store. That might be able to work. And talked for a long time with a friend who taught me a lot about retail. And despite all the weird jobs I've had, I've never done retail before. It was also kind of the realization that galleries are retail. They're just dressed up, put a little cheese platter in the mix, put a little printout piece of paper, and be like, this is all about the artist, and the artist will be speaking to you today. It's a retail spot. Museums, I'd say, transcend that, but most galleries are literally retail. So it's, oh, technically, I worked retail for like 5 years. I was doing Endeavor Studios, and always the show, you know, talking about the work, why they should get it at this instant. I think a lot of my background is working with artists while the artwork is being made, kind of getting artworks or art supplies. It was like, I was very locked into what people are using, what's not available, what are things that I would like to use as well. And it kind of just made a lot of sense. So it was like a 6-month process of actually building the space, like changing it up, almost every surface in this entire room to make it. And then 2 weeks before opening, I announced, I was like, supplies gonna be open in 2 weeks. And people were like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I just didn't want to be discouraged. Like, it was weird enough to risk it, to do a new business in the times that were happening at the time. If I was talking to more people, they'd probably been like, don't do that. Do you know what the internet's like? Like, what are you thinking? I really wanted to do it, so it was sort of like, put it out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, ow. Ow, a lot. 3 years down the line, here it is.
Happy you're here.
Thank you, my friend. I'm happy you're here.
Thank you. Richmond's lost a few creative hubs in recent years. How do you see Supply trying to fill that gap, not just as a store, but as a space?
Creating sustainability on one measure or another. If there's no art stores in the city at all, or if there's one, then it's like, I think there's a huge parts of the community that are underserved, like have no way to get it, or you're just ordering things online all day, getting hit by shipping. There has to be sustainable spaces that it's continually doing it, meeting that where it's at. It's like, there's a huge part of people coming in to the shop that, you know, I get the lay down on the street, man. I know what's going on. I try to keep up with all the shows. When people come in here, there's been a lot of great moments that I just love that people have met here on the spot and become instantly friends. And then see them like 3 months down the line and they're like, oh, we've been hanging out, we did this piece together and like everything. I'm like, oh my God, dude, like that's, you know, you give it this little 340 square feet in here. Tiny little spot.
Yeah.
But you just give it this little nook. Richmond's the space that it can kind of fill in. These spaces, you give it a canvas, it's going to fill it in. You give it a broad canvas, it's going to light it up. You know, there's an intersection between miniature painters, sign painters, street art that's happening, fine art painters, that people will just meet and be like, wait, you can use this product for that? And then it'll be exactly what they need, or it kind of fulfills some other type of need that they didn't know. And so it's kind of just this rolling ball of energy that keeps moving forward. I think the big pop-offs of fulfilling that need are like really big shows, like the upcoming show, Hello, My Name Is sticker show at Gallery 5, September 5th. Gonna be a huge international sticker show. I think it's 168 artists as of this morning.
Okay.
Trying to get like 500, so please submit. But the last one that was before this show-wise, we did a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard themed art show. Do you know about this?
I feel like I heard about it. I love King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yes.
We went to the show last
Oh
year.
yeah, Browns Island.
Oh,
Well, so
baby.
we timed that show that was also at Black Iris with them playing in town, and so we had 36 artists. The show was called Nonagon Affinity, and so it was me and my friend Eric Jones, and he goes by Stash Squatch. He has the most beautiful mustache you've ever seen. He's like 6'5", brilliant screen printer, designer. He's easily the most prolific designer I think I've ever met. It was sort of, at first it was a joke, like we got our tickets in the year before last, like November. They're like, they're coming to Richmond. Are you kidding me? And so we were just geeking out. We just got our tickets right away. Thankfully, they were like way cheaper at the time. And we're like, dude, what if we did like a King Gizzard show? And we're like, that'd be crazy. And then next time we meet up, we're like, what if we did a King Gizzard show? And then next thing you know, we were thinking of names, and then we started the poster, and then we were asking friends, and we know enough people that love King Gizzard, and then it was like reaching out to other people. Then we all of a sudden we had like 36 artists. So we put the show together with like this awesome poster. We release it, and then there's like a Giz. It's called Giz Family. All things King Gizzard shares everywhere, like international stickers, events. He catches wind of the show. I want to help. Next thing you know, I got a hold of the accountant for the booker for the Broadberry, who I knew because he did a train. His name is Curtis Grimstead, which is such a sick name. So I reached out, and next thing I know, like we're in contact with the manager for King Gizzard. I was like, all right, this is a long shot. Feel free to say no. You're a bunch of busy gizzies. And I want to know if it's possible. We're doing the show. You guys are at Browns Island. Could you get King Gizzard to come to the show? And they were like, maybe. So it was like 3 months back and forth, kind of like, doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Maybe it'll happen. Then it's 2 days before they're set to play on Browns Island. I'm like, dude, it's so close and we still don't know. I get a call from the booker, and she's like, hey, bad news. It's not going to happen. They're just too busy. It's too much. I'm like, I know. It's a lot. They're doing a lot. They got a sound check. It's like 16,000 people coming to see it down at Browns Island. I get it. It's the day of the show. I'm sitting here, just cooking bacon without pants off. I don't recommend it. It's like noon, and I get a call from the same lady, and she's like, can you be ready in 30 minutes? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, the band's on the way. They're coming to see, it's not all of them, but they're coming to see the show right now. They're going to be out front of Black Iris in like 30 minutes. I'm like, ah! Run upstairs, or like quickly put it together, grab the wizard hats, grab the King Gizzard shirts that we have. I run across the street, I call Eric, and so they're coming over. A few friends make it, and it's Ambrose, it's Jason Galea, and so they're there, and Ambrose first comes through, and he's clearly tripping. And he's like, oh, this place is fucking sick, man. They are so humble and honestly angeringly humble. It's like, you guys are like fucking rock stars,
Magicians.
dude. Absolute magicians. You blow everybody out of the water with prolificness. Put out new work all the time. There's a show dedicated. There was a huge sculpture on the front of the building of Hantayumi, the cyborg that wants to be human. It's one of their songs. We're getting deep into the Giz verse right now. Anyways, we're geeking out. I actually didn't recognize Jason Galea, who does all their artwork for the past like 10 plus years. He's probably the most prolific artist, I think, it just doesn't make any sense. Like he does a new poster for every show that they do, and their album covers, and it's a lot. All that to cut it back to the beginning is try to do events, give a shit about the community, do cool things like that.
Oh yeah.
Did I answer the question?
I think you did.
Okay.
I think you did. Vocal about making more room for public art in the city. What do you think Richmond could look like if artists led the way in shaping it?
It could be an absolutely premier destination location, #1 art city in the fucking country, hands down. I think it would be an absolute blowout. There's so much talent. There's so much goodness and ideas, underfunded projects, previous iterations of ideas and plans that never came to fruition. Yeah, if you batten down the hatches, get very serious about the funding of the arts, very serious about kind of taking the cream of the crop and the people that are on the way, that are clearly demonstrating capability, know-how, and desire to be involved, I think the sky's the limit. Like, just crazy. More than New York, more than Miami. I think Richmond could be like a frightening, absolute blowout of an arts destination location. I think it's so cool. It's brutal. You love potential. You see a young boy filled with potential. You want the best, and you want to help foster that. It's been in that kind of in-between for so long. Like, it's great to have potential, but you have to realize the potential. You have to set it in. It's great for something to seem like it could be really cool, but I think it's kind of been in the States since like the 1970s. Richmond's been flush with an art scene, community spaces, galleries. There's such a storied history of Broad Street, of like spaces that people became like hubs of the community. Huge, like blowout community, grassroots, everyone's showing up, everyone knows it. Every single month they're doing something and you have to show up, you can't miss it. And it's a garden that every time it flowers, we cut off the tops of most of the flowers and just leave the stalk. And there'll be like a couple here and out because that keeps it moving forward. There's some in-between realm that we really just we cut off the flowering garden and don't let it become this like lush, huge garden space. And it's tough. It's tough to see like talent leave, see galleries close that should be success. They just had a little bit of extra love that was brought to it. It's already happened here. It's already possible or to see it. So it's like, even if we were just doing what has already occurred in a more sustainable or semi-regular basis, damn, it'd be good.
Yeah.
It'd be really good.
How do you balance being a working artist with running a business? Do those two selves clash, or do they feed each other?
I wouldn't say balance.
No.
It's not a proper term.
How do you juggle?
It is juggling. It's sometimes this happens, other times the work happens, and especially when there's deadlines, like in the art of like upcoming gallery show or mural or a big commission or something, often be work here till 8 p.m. and then go to the studio afterwards. Probably leave around 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. I don't know, I want to do things worthwhile. This life is short. I don't want to waste any bit of it. I think I'm pretty good at a few things, and I like doing them as well. Like, there's an immense amount of play in working the shop, It's like I get to talk to artists most of the day. What are you making? What's going on? It's great diving deep like we are now. My dearest friend, Eli McMullen, brilliant painter, was like, I think you like being overwhelmed. Uh-oh. I think you're right. There's something about having too much to do that when you wake up in the morning of like, you can kind of just, Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill of just take it a little bit by little bit of like the idea of working towards something that's larger and not just for myself. I'll often feel like that while making artwork of like, this is just for me. Granted, I want to share it with people and show it in shows and like bring something to people's life or whatever they're taking out of it and doing that, but there is some process of like, I'm alone in the studio making this of something that I want to make that is largely for me, pay my bills, where things with supply is like, oh, this involves all sorts of people. Things with like Little Giant Society is like, oh my God, this involves even more people and like institutions, and trying to do something like a huge park that, hypothetically infinite people are eventually going to visit. There's that whole other side that I feel like without it, it's almost too quiet or too selfish. Granted, I think there's as most artists would agree, there's some level of being an artist that you simply have to be selfish to a degree, of like you're focusing inwardly, seeking things, trying to bring things to actuality, and a lot of that is not in the process of with other people. You're doing it for you, putting your name on it, all those things. So I'm certainly not bashing it. I'm just saying there's another side of like, I really love people a lot. I love this community. I love Richmond. And so doing something really to give back for a place that's the only reason I have a career, most of my friends here in Richmond, in a space that it's like, again, potential. Damn. You can make here? You go to somewhere like New York, try making New York. It's like, it's a bit of a screaming contest, so it's not as easy to make something. And like Richmond really just has the vibe that you can make things here, and it's not necessarily a screaming contest. It's just that it's like it's in the process of being built up, which goes back into the metaphor of cutting off some of the flowers as well.
Yeah, kind of like a chorus, right? Like everybody kind of feeds into each other. There's not competing over each other. Like it's very communal.
Yes.
Here with the artists and the creatives, and
chorus is the right way to say it. Like a sort of symphony. There's a lot of like tones that are playing that perhaps might not even be totally aware in the way that they are synchronous. It's an interesting time in Richmond. Like, oh, we're all singing at the same time. We should not scream over each other, but like sing together.
Yeah, that's some harmony.
Yeah, a real harmony. And it's like that's a great way of saying it. Nice.
Is there a particular surface or medium that just feels right under your hands?
Ooh, oil paint for sure.
Yeah.
But I normally use acrylic most of the time. When I'm using acrylic paint, it feels like I'm working. When I use oil paint, it feels like I'm painting. The paint is alive, the medium is alive. It's an activated medium that can stay activated for a very long time, not using mediums. All my favorite painters are oil painters, almost unanimously. Especially my top two is like Christian Rex Van Minnen and Matt Hansel, which Van Minnen as a last name is like, dog, you're born to be a painter. Like your parents are like, I'm just gonna give you this major leg up. Your name sounds historically cutting edge, Van Minnen. They do things with oil paint that it's like, what? How is this possible? Every time I see their work, I'm like, oh my God, oil painting is the thing to do. Yeah, oil paint is alive. I love it. I go to museums, I'm like, oil paint, I love it. This painting's 300 years old. It looks like it's still alive. It's amazing.
Your paintings are dense with symbolization and mythology. Where do those themes come from for you personally?
Personally, I've always been drawn to it, even if not knowing. You trace it farthest back, like tangible thing that I've seen. My mom still has it in her laundry room. It's a paper cutout with the armor being tinfoil of like a Roman soldier with a manga anime face. I really liked that when I was a kid. I didn't know how to draw faces. I got a manga book and it was like, bam. I don't even know how old I was, and like less than 10, and I was like, yeah, these are awesome. I played a lot of like Age of Empires when I was a kid, and I don't know, I'm like, I love this so much. Knights, armor, sword battles, mythology, and history comes with that. I love finding kind of like ontology, like the history of knowledge, knowing things, and just history in general, and it sucks to not be able to like neural net download that shit when you're a baby. You just come out the womb and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Rome fell. It would be great, but we don't. We're born like blank slate and you have to learn it. Same mistakes, same stories will often repeat. And so trying to read back into that. This is a long answer. I think all of my answers have been very long. I'm so sorry. If you're still watching, I love you.
Yeah, me too. Tell me about the Arts Park idea for Under the Manchester Bridge. What was the initial spark, and what could it bring to Richmond?
I've told this story about Amsterdam. I truly love Amsterdam. That is my testament. I love Amsterdam. It's truly dope if you can go. I highly encourage it. They have an arts park there. It's called Flavo Park. On Google Map, it's called Graffiti Fun Park. So I went there during a tumultuous time in my life, thanks to my dear friend Nils Westergaard. I was going through the works, and I helped him hang a show, also at Black Iris. It's coming up a lot today. He did a show over there. We were sort of taking it down, was talking about how he's living in Amsterdam right now, has for the past 5 years. He's like, you should come. Oh, you know, I was like, I gotta do the thing with the... And he's like, what reason do you have not to go? I don't. So it was very around COVID, so it was like, ticket was very cheap. He invited me to stay for an extended time. I absolutely fell in love with Amsterdam. It resuscitated the soul, inspired the ever-living hell out of me. And I went to the park, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, however many times, and it was just underneath a bridge. It's one of their main, biggest bridges, 12, 15 feet tall, 48 feet wide, the most ideal concrete you could ever imagine, just perfectly smooth, flat, ready, primed, and the city said, it's happening all the time, so we'll just sanction the space. It's now a permanent art park, no permission required. You walk up, you meet some artists there. I met a lot of artists when I was there, and every time I went, I got better. I learned a lesson from some other artists, like, hey, you're doing it like this, try it like this. It was amazing. I'm like, this is the most Richmond-esque thing in this 750-year-old city that's amazing and beautiful, and there's so many like Richmond vibes that are over there that rather than the potential of here, it's like the realized potential. It's fully implemented. If you love biking, bike everywhere. You like making, everywhere, museums everywhere, good eats, coffee, oh my god. So yeah, that was the initial incarnation of it. I was like, this makes sense. We have tons of bridges here. We have activated bridges, so I get back from that trip and I sort of was just biking around on my favorite bridge to bike under, the Manchester Bridge. It's amazing, like smooth, over the river, and it leads you into a bike path that can go up to the Outlook. There's the rock climbing wall. The path comes around, it leads you right underneath the bridge. That's right by the CSX line. Kind of this like amazing intersection of so many different slices of Richmond. And this has been like a 3-year process of like talking to council members, businesses, the mayor, of like convincing them, one, graffiti isn't a great evil. It is actually a sign of a flourishing arts community. It's actually like a telltale sign of artists being welcome often to a city, and a space to, you know, add your name literally at times to the city. I started doing my research and realizing how many art parks there are. There's an insane amount of art parks. Texas, South Dakota, South Carolina, Charlotte, they have it in California, Miami. They don't have one in New York, which is crazy. There used to be one. And then there's tons of them throughout Europe, and then Amsterdam has also made other ones subsequently afterwards because it's been so successful. So kind of compiling all these together would be like, yo, proofs of concept. This is what it looks like. This is how it's changed the city. This is how it's impacted. These are all the benefits around it, and just sort of continuing to persevere through that. There's been plenty of no's, but there's been most yeses that have happened from inside the city, and now it's kind of at the point that they're running out of reasons to say no and understanding all the reasons to say yes. I think for Richmond, we talk about fulfilling its potential, sustainable. Every time there's an art city, they have the space. It's the most obvious, open way to train artists, give them a space to meet, have a more connected community while the actual process of making, rather than, say if like muralists want to get together or to know each other, you have to find the wall, you have to get approved for it, you have to work with the person who's the owner of that wall, you have to do the work, and a lot of times that work will be done in like a week or less. So it's like actually speaking to them while making, or like getting to meet them, it'll be like a blink of an eye, it's up, it's gone, on to the next work, that it's like actually meeting artists in the process of making. That is the most obvious way to do it. It's like you do graffiti, you're like, I don't understand how they get the cuts like this. Like, how do you cut it so clean? And then you see someone doing it at the time, and you just see them go like this, and you're like, oh, that's it. It's just that thing. It's like you can learn from seeing. And then there's also the passing of the torch, older generation meets new generation, chance to make a portfolio. You've never done a mural before. You walk down there, you put up a wall, you put it up, you take photos. There's a chance it'll be gone the next day, but for the photos, you're like, I want to do this work for you inside your home, on your business. You can do it there. And so if we want to bring artists internationally, there's always a wall to make when they come through. And I think it's just it's almost like low-hanging fruit of like, yeah, duh, every art city does an arts park. You just give it a space, you just make a couple walls, and it's just like Richmond again. You give it a broad canvas, it's gonna fill it in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be colorful, it's gonna be weird, it's gonna be grungy, it's gonna be challenging, it's gonna be interesting, it's gonna be well done. Cannot foretell all the ways that it's gonna impact, because it's like, it's not my park. This is Richmond's park. It's for Richmond, and to put it out and let anyone come and show up and start making, like, who knows who's gonna show up? Who knows what weirdness is gonna happen? Sure, there's gonna be some BS, but that's something that you work through, and you feel it out. There's BS now. You know,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of stuff. So I think doing a park like that is a massive win for Richmond.
When people look back at this chapter of Richmond art, what do you hope your role in it will have been?
Whoa, my role? That feels very presumptuous. I would love to be said that I played a great part. The role to play is like, I hope helped the tide rise to lift all the ships, that it's not just like me, or you. It's like, oh, we were all partaking in something. And if it all of a sudden becomes this like calcified point that it's no longer necessarily potential, it's like realized intensity of making, I hope that the part that I played was like helping as many along the way, honestly.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to make great works, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I've got my own arts career. I was like, yes, I want to be making the best possible that I can be making. But damn, I love watching my friends do really well.
Yeah.
And like seeing other artists that it's like, oh, I didn't even know you. And now I see like your whole career that has like come out over the past, like, I don't know, 16, 20 years, and like learn about that and kind of tie in with like Richmond legacy artists that are still making is so cool. Seeing students that come in that are like, it's so evident to me now of making, I'm like, oh, you're gonna make it for sure. Just don't stop making. It's gonna suck. You're gonna lose money at times, it's gonna be brutal at times. So it's like a role to play is like, you know, doing right by people, in many ways treating people how I would have wished to be treated, like from college, graduating, and like getting started. There's been plenty of people that have been saviors and saints along the way. I don't know, I give a massive shit about about the Richmond arts community, and again, just to beat this horse to death, dude, is like the potential is like overwhelming. It's just crazy. You know, you can't say your role, is more so you just do what is working and happening, and I feel more involved and kind of clarified what it is that I'm doing and how I can actually help and build something than ever before in my life.
Good shit. Well, thank you so much, Ian.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate the time. This has been a blast. I love
Thank
this.
you, my friend.
Thank you. That was
Damn.
it.
That was great. This is the most physically comfortable mic I've ever held.
Because of this.
It is. It is that, dude. It's so. This is like lightweight. I don't know how it came across, but it is.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
How long do you know?
An hour and 4 minutes.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Longest one by far.
Oh.